Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our WWE 2K16 Universe Mode, and this will be our second episode of Smackdown Live. And of course, first we have to deal with main event, so let's have a quick look at the card for main event. So we're going to start things off with Erick Rowan taking on Kalisto. Looks like Erick Rowan and Bray Wyatt have now gone their separate ways, so it'll be interesting to see what Erick Rowan can do as a singles competitor without the backing or the guidance of a Bray Wyatt. Next we have the Usos taking on American Alpha. And then, of course, we have Naomi taking on Carmella as part of our Going for Gold series here. Of course, the winner of this series, the 6 Women's series, will be crowned the first WWE Women's Champion here for Smackdown Live. So, let's skip through these. Firstly, Erick Rowan picks up the win over Kalisto. Maybe Erick Rowan does have a bit more of a singles career than we first thought. Next, we've got American Alpha picking up the win over the Usos. I'm very happy about that. And then finally, we're going to have Naomi versus Carmella, and it is a win for Carmella. So Carmella's doing well. She picked up a win last week against Natalya, and now here she is the very next week picking up a win over Naomi as well. So Carmella is now up to 2 wins, and Naomi is still on 0. So Naomi has played 2, lost 2. Carmella has played 2, won 2. So I think that's going to put Naomi at a very, very big disadvantage. She's going to need to win all of her matches to stand any chance now of winning that Women's Championship, and Carmella, well, maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 more victories would guarantee her that belt. But now let's get straight into our card for SmackDown and have a look at what we've got planned for you this evening. And here we are now with our card for SmackDown. Now I must apologise, I missed a massive bit of detail in that episode of Main Event. The match between American Alpha and the Usos. Now that is going to be the first match in our Tag Team 8-team tournament to crown the first Tag Team Champions here on SmackDown. Of course, American Alpha won that and they will be advancing on to the next round. So the 8 teams that we will see 1 more match here this evening, then 2 more matches next week, and then we'll have our 2 semi-finals sorted then. But enough of that, we'll come back to that later on. First here on the card we have Eva Marie taking on Natalya, part of the Women's 6-pack Bound for Glory Women's Championship title tournament. Yep. I'm still calling it that. And yeah, we've already seen Carmella pick up a victory on main event. So both Eva Marie and Natalya both yet to pick up a point. They'll be desperate to get one here. Dolph Ziggler takes on Erick Rowan. Apollo Crews takes on Rhyno. That'd be a very interesting match. 2 big powerhouses, but of course Apollo Crews has a lot of agility to add to that as well. The final match tonight for the Women's 6-pack title tournament. Yeah, some other words as well. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. Now, both of these ladies picked up a victory last week, so one of them will be joining Carmella up on 2 points. The other one will stay on 1. And then it's not going to be our main event, I promise you that. The Ascension taking on Breezango in another first-round match of the Tag Team Championship Tournament. Now, we are going to watch the 3 matches, and I think we're going to skip Eva Marie versus Natalya. It was a win for Natalya. Let me just mark that down. Natalya, yep. And we're also going to skip the tag team match as well, I think. Ascension versus Breezango. And it was a win for the Ascension, so they will go on to the second round. Now, next week we will be seeing the Vaudevillains versus Angelo Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton, mainly because there's only 7 teams, and I really struggled to make another one for SmackDown, so we're using the job team, which we'll probably end up losing anyway. And then also we will see the Hype Brothers taking on the team of Rhyno and Heath Slater. So we've got 3 matches left for you this evening. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss, Dolph Ziggler versus Erick Rowan, and Apollo Crews versus Rhyno. We're actually going to go for this one first, and I think then we'll watch the other 2 straight after. I think it'll automatically do that. But yeah, let's get straight into Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. And there is confirmation of that match, Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. Both ladies looking for a second victory in this 6-pack title tournament, Bound for Glory, Bound for Gold, Women's Championship, and some other words as well. Tournament. Carmella's already on 2 points. Natalya's on 1, Alexa is on 1, Becky's on 1, and Naomi and Eva are both on 0. So a big match here for these 2 ladies. And here we go. Chicago, Illinois. And out first comes Becky Lynch. Now I can't wait for 2K17 to come out and to have these ladies officially on the game with the correct attires, correct moves, correct entrance videos and entrance music. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, Becky last week picked up a victory when she defeated Naomi. Alexa picked up a victory when she defeated Eva Marie. So, I think Becky had the more difficult first match. But you never know. A win here for Alexa could really be an interesting one. A win here for Alexa would put the 2 new women on this roster, both Alexa and Carmella, at the top of the table. And would that be them two facing each other next week? Would it be? So look, 3 versus 6. It is 3 versus 6 next week. No, 3 versus 6 is Eva versus Carmella. Oh wow, Carmella has won 2 matches and next week she gets Eva Marie. So Carmella should be on 3 points straight away next week. And you know what? Carmella could end up being our first women's champion here on SmackDown. And that would be incredibly interesting. I have recently, because I've been watching SmackDown, I'm recording this so late at night, so I do apologise if I go off a little bit because I'm really tired at the moment, but I want to make sure I get this video recorded before I go away, because I'm going away for a few days. I want to make sure everything's uploaded for you guys in time. Yeah, but I've just watched SmackDown, and believe it or not, people have already uploaded versions of the Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championship. So they've both been downloaded, and they are both ready to go. So looking forward to crowning our inaugural champions. I don't think it's going to be at SummerSlam. It's more than likely probably going to be very close to SummerSlam, though. It's either going to be SummerSlam. We might save it for Backlash. I think we could say Backlash. Backlash is going to be in about 4 weeks' time, so only 2 weeks after the pay-per-view. So that could be are we going to do it that way? I don't know how we're going to do it, actually, but I'll have to try and figure it out, because it gets a bit complicated when you do it that way. Because it means that some pay-per-views mean that feuds take a little bit more time to build up. I'll have to try and figure a way out of doing it, I think. I'm sure I can suss a way out. Great snapmare there by Alexa Bliss. Locking in the reverse chin lock on Becky, and then a big knee to the back as well. Oh, a big uppercut there by Alexa, and like I said, the winner of this match will be in a very good position. They'll be joint top alongside Carmella on 2 wins out of 2 matches. Becky now bringing Alexa back up to her feet. Big vertical suplex. Alexa's back up with that back elbow. And I'm really surprised on SmackDown that they put Carmella heel. It just made, I don't know, it just made little sense to me. I can understand they probably wanted to bring Nikki Bella back as a face, considering what she's gone through over the last 9 months to get back in the ring, but still, I thought Carmella was quite over as a face. I'm not quite sure if a heel suits her character, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I don't know. I just thought I would have kept Naomi as a heel if it was me, because I don't think Naomi gets over as a face whatsoever. I think at the moment she makes her entrance and everyone's just stood there looking at their phone, making absolutely no noise whatsoever. And that's not the way it should be for a face, especially. People should get hyped to see you, and I think having Carmella as a face was working. I think having Becky Lynch as a face was working. I think a lot of it's to do with Eva Marie being suspended, because it means when Eva Marie comes back, they're going to have 4 heel ladies and 3 face. So they're going to have more heels than faces, which I suppose might work, but I don't know, I'm just a bit confused by... It wouldn't have worked if it was Becky, though. And I just think that Carmella was the only other female who was really over. Now they're going to be putting Nikki Bella over as a face as well, and I've never really got the Bellas, I must admit. They've never really interested me that much. And I must admit, I was really struggling with WWE a couple of years ago, but as soon as NXT came out, I really started to enjoy WWE again, and now that I'm seeing some of the NXT guys and girls move up onto the main roster, I've got my allegiances. That's probably why I'm not a big fan of the Bellas, because I want to see women like Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss and Carmella do well, because I've watched them develop down in NXT, and I've really enjoyed doing that. So that's probably the reason why. As Becky Lynch now lining up Alexa Bliss and locks in a disarmer pretty early into the match. And is it going to be enough? No, Alexa manages to break free. So that's the issue with the submission finishes. I hope they fix that on 2K17, because at the moment anybody with a submission finisher just really struggles in this game. There's the pin by Becky Lynch. It's not quite enough though, as Alexa Bliss kicks out on the 2. Becky now, big elbows to the forehead of Alexa Bliss. That is a very painful looking move. Becky now going up to the top rope. There's a long distance between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, but she does get it, that big splash off the top rope. Does a lot of damage to yourself, that as well as your opponent, of course. You've got to think the speed you're going to stop very, very quickly by landing across the midriff of your opponent. You can do some damage to your own ribs in that situation. Becky now sending Alexa Bliss into the corner. Looks to be hoisting it up onto that top turnbuckle. Now, it's going to be interesting what happens at Backlash as well, talking real life wrestling now, between the 6 ladies to see who does get to hold the championship first. I think it makes most sense to be Becky Lynch. She is the top woman on the roster, but I just don't think she will. And there we go, it's a win. Becky Lynch out of nowhere, that was a quick win as well. Wow. So we were saying about Becky Lynch deserving to be the champion in real life, and it looks like she's deserving to be the champion right here as well. She picked up a win last week against Naomi, now picking up a win over Alexa. Next week, Becky Lynch has to face off against Eva Marie. I thought Carmella was facing Eva Marie. No, I got my numbers wrong. Carmella faces off against Alexa Bliss next week, sorry. Becky Lynch has got Eva Marie, so Becky Lynch should be up to 3 wins next week quite easily. Alexa could still... Carmella could still be as well, though. And of course that leaves Natalya versus Naomi next week as well. So Becky Lynch has got a nice easy round next week. And that could really put Becky Lynch in the forefront to become that first women's champion, as I'm just marking it off now. And I'll tell you what, while I'm marking it off, I'll bring it up on the screen for you right now. Just a quick look at the table. As you can see, you've got Becky Lynch on 2 points, Carmella on 2 points, Natalya and Alexa on 1 point, Naomi and Eva Marie on 0. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next week when this continues. We've got 3 more weeks of this women's 6-pack challenge, and then we can crown our first women's champion. And I'm wondering whether... See, it's going to be tricky to do it at Backlash because we don't know which match it's going to be, do we? We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out closer to the time. And here is our second match of the evening. It's going to be the #1 contender for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, Dolph Ziggler, taking on Erick Rowan. Both guys now in the ring. Oh, and what's this? This looks like... Is this Dean Ambrose? It is Dean Ambrose. Coming down to ringside without his championship, though. Coming down to ringside. And as you can see, Dolph Ziggler straight away distracted by this. Dean Ambrose is doing everything he can to possibly get inside the head of Dolph Ziggler. And so far, it's working. And this could be a great advantage here for Erick Rowan. Let's see what effect Dean Ambrose at commentary is going to have here on Dolph Ziggler. Let's go. But it may have just spurred Ziggler on, who starts off quite aggressive, sending Erick Rowan over the top rope. But Rowan fighting back with a big right hand. Ziggler is shaken, but Rowan is quite slow back into the ring. And Ziggler catches him with that elbow. Now the 2 guys lock up. Ziggler twisting the arm of Rowan, now getting behind him as well. And Ziggler just twisting the arm. Rowan can't break free, but eventually Ziggler lets him go, looking to continue the assault other ways. Kick in the chest of Erick Rowan. Dolph Ziggler starting this match incredibly aggressively. Like I said, Dean Ambrose at ringside is inside the head of Dolph Ziggler. But that's not necessarily going to distract him. At the moment, it seems to have spurred him on. Although Erick Rowan come back now with some big, hard clubbing moves. Some big axe handles over the back as well. Ziggler with a big knee to the face of Erick Rowan. And the ginger bearded man gets back up to his feet, but catches an elbow in the face again by Ziggler. These elbows can't be good for Rowan. He's taken a lot of hits to the face so far in this one. And another one there with a knee to the head. Ziggler now snaps suplex on Erick Rowan as well. And so far, you can't even tell that Dean Ambrose here is a ringside, can you? Dolph Ziggler really getting on with the job. There's the super kick as well. Drops straight into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. That could have been an incredibly quick victory here for Ziggler. That could have been a squash match for Ziggler here. Ziggler now sending Rowan into the corner. Oh, and there you go. The eyes lock in there between Ziggler and Ambrose. Ziggler now is coming out here to join Ambrose, and Ziggler, you need to pay attention to the big man you've got in the ring there. Erick Rowan is no pushover. You've done well so far, and here comes from behind. Ah, big right hand to Ziggler, and Rowan goes down. Ambrose claiming his innocence. He knows he hasn't done anything. He didn't touch Ziggler, and this match carries on. Actually, Ambrose looks to be leaving now. His work here is done. He's inside the head of his title challenger, Dolph Ziggler. As Erick Rowan now just slamming knee first Ziggler into the mat. Brings him back up to his feet. And straight into the ring again. And this could be Rowan's chance to turn this match around. Clubbing blow against the back of Ziggler. But Ziggler now catching Rowan in that front chance. He takes him over the top. And Ziggler lining up Erick Rowan. And maybe Dean Ambrose has not been to full effect what he wanted. Oh, Ziggler locking in the sleeper hold. I thought he might be going for the zigzag, but he's gone for the sleeper hold. Which, of course, we know on this game submission finishes do not work. That's a bit of a shame. That means that's his finisher manoeuvre wasted now, isn't it, really? Oh, but Ziggler drops into the pin. It could be enough to choke the air and choke the life out of Rowan, but Rowan does kick out, but it was not with a lot of energy. Rowan struggled there. Ziggler now bringing Rowan back up to his feet. There's the neck breaker. And Ziggler now stamping on the back of the arm of Rowan as well. Clever move there, because if you do some damage to the arm, that's going to reduce the amount of strength that Rowan has to try and throw you around the ring. Ziggler once again locking in that sleeper hold. And just slowing the pace of the match down now, just bringing the big man down to a grounded position where you can keep him in control. Plus, Ziggler also regaining some energy. Of course, Ziggler exerts a lot more energy when he wrestles than what a man like Erick Rowan does. Ziggler likes to do things at a fast pace, whereas Rowan likes to do things more slow and methodical. And that means that Ziggler needs to stop every now and again and take a breather. And that situation there with the reverse chin lock is a very good way of doing it. Rowan now has Ziggler up, holding him up there with one hand and then launching him in the fall-away slam. Rowan now bringing Ziggler back up to his feet. And there's that big spin heel kick. This could be enough for Rowan to pick up the victory here on Ziggler. And he's done... No, referee, your hand hit the mat 3 times and we heard it. So did Erick Rowan. He is furious with the referee there. Oh, his hand hit the mat 3 times there. That could have been one of the biggest victories of Erick Rowan's career. And the referee is just taking him away from him there. But Rowan once again lining Ziggler up. Big front slam. And I think Rowan can have this, you know. I really do. 1, 2. He's done it. Erick Rowan has just defeated Dolph Ziggler. It just shows, I think, Ambrose is definitely the head of Ziggler. Been distracted throughout the match, but Rowan really showing off some strength of his own here. We thought earlier on the match that Ziggler was going to dominate this one, but Rowan just slowly picked his places. Caught him with that big spinning kick. And then that front slam as well, and Rowan picks up the victory here over the #1 contender, Dolph Ziggler. I wonder whether Rowan should be involved in that championship match at SummerSlam. He's not going to be, don't get me wrong, but we've got to think about something for Rowan to do now that he's split. I don't know about you guys, but I had the idea of potentially putting Rowan together in a tag team with Baron Corbin. What would you think about that? Do you think that would be a decent idea, or do you think that would be a little bit over the top? It's up to you. It's a possibility that we could do it. It would give us an extra tag team in the division then as well. That's something I looked at potentially for our tag team tournament, but I really didn't want to push a dodgy team in case you guys weren't up for it. But definitely something we could look at maybe doing in the future. But Erick Rowan, I think he deserves something a little bit more. I reckon maybe we could even give him an opportunity to get himself into the Intercontinental Championship picture. Who knows, with a victory like that, he definitely deserves something. I definitely think we should give him a bit more airtime now and again. And here is the rivalry update here between Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. Intensity is building between the champion Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler after their confrontation during Ziggler's match. Ziggler's now completely clean of status effects, whereas Rowan has got himself a hot streak and a momentum boost, so he's looking very good at the moment. And here is our main event of the evening. It is going to be Apollo Crews, the #1 contender for the Miz's Intercontinental Championship, taking on Rhyno, one of the guys that will be involved in our Tag Team Championship tournament. And here we see both guys in the ring again. No entrances for this one then. And Apollo Crews, we're going to see the exact same stuff, aren't we? It's a bit of a shame. The Miz is making his way out now. Apollo Crews, as you can see, distracted in the ring. And let's see if Apollo Crews does a better job of ignoring the distraction than what Dolph Ziggler did. Ziggler got involved in it, and he ended up going on to lose the match in the end. So let's hope for Apollo Crews' sake that he can Ignore the Miz there on the outside. And we are underway. So I have no idea why Rhyno decided to team up with Heath Slater next week in the tag team tournament. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was quite funny actually, the way that it all panned out, and I think Heath Slater is probably one of the best guys they've got at the moment. I think he's just so over at the moment, and it's pretty clever as well, because just no matter what they give, it's a bit like Damien Sandow. No matter what they give to him, he seems to be able to pull it off. He's done this whole three-man band thing, and he got over. He did the Heath Slater versus the Legends thing, and he got over. He's now doing Heath Slater as the number one free agent, and he's getting over. And he's just incredible. I think he's just one of those guys, and I really think he deserves to have something special when he gets back in, be it a championship or what, or it doesn't have to be anything big, but you know, just something decent for him. I wonder if Heath Slater would be someone that could technically qualify for the Cruiserweight division either. Maybe Raw should take him. I think Smackdown should take him because they need more people. Because when I was going through before this episode trying to figure out another tag team to have in our tag team tournament, I just could not find any sort of mid-card talent that I could squish together as a tag team. That's why we ended up with Angelo Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton next week, who are potentially going to get hammered by the Vaudevillains, hopefully, because I would like to get them out first round so we can just put the Vaudevillains straight through. And then, of course, it'd be if that does happen, Vaudevillains will be taking on American Alpha. And then the Hype Bros, Rhyno and Heath Slater, the winner of that one will be taking on the Ascension. So we've got some decent tag teams in this one. And like I said earlier on, I'm recording this very, very, very late at night, which is why my voice is a little bit strange and I keep forgetting my words. But I have managed to download the new SmackDown Women's Championship and the new SmackDown Tag Team Championships ready to go as well. So I think we'll probably try and crown the champions around about Backlash. I don't know how or if that's going to work, but hopefully it will. Oh, a slightly different cutscene here for Apollo Crews. Instead of going outside to join the Miz, Rhyno creeps up behind him while the Miz gets his distraction. And again, the Miz looks to leave now. I think he's done what he came here to do. He came here to distract Apollo Crews. He's done that. And Rhyno now showing his strength with that pull-up powerbomb. And the Miz is just taking the top off the announce table again, just to try and distract Apollo Crews as much as he possibly can. I don't know what the Miz is trying to encourage Rhyno to do here. The referee is intent in stopping Apollo Crews from getting to the ropes, but Crews finally does get a hold of that bottom rope. Rhyno now sending Apollo Crews into the corner, and now the Miz looks to walk away. I don't think the Miz wants to be around when this match finishes and Apollo Crews is looking for some retribution. But Rhyno now, ever since that distraction by the Miz, Rhyno has dominated Apollo Crews. Right now taking Crews up onto his shoulders, looking for that aeroplane spin cutter. There's the pin. That could be enough to pin Apollo Crews. Oh, God, that was close. On the verge of a 3 count. Rhyno now once again taking Apollo Crews up. Rhyno really showing some strength in this match. Oh, God. That looked gruesome. Rhyno dropping Apollo Crews behind him. I don't know if Rhyno realised how close he was to the ropes. And Apollo Crews' neck caught that middle rope. He's going to be struggling here. And now Rhyno lining Apollo Crews up. There's the big gore. And now surely Rhyno just has to drop into the pin. And he will finish Apollo Crews off here. There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Rhyno picks up a massive victory for him, defeating the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And Rhyno will be hoping that he can take this form into next week's Tag Team Championship tournament as well. And one man who's also hoping that will be Heath Slater, who I'm thinking is going to be carried here. Oh, the Miz has not left. He's still out there at ringside watching this match. And he was very happy to see that big gore there on Apollo Crews. And Rhyno, I really like Rhyno. I'm hoping that Rhyno makes it onto 2K17. I don't think he will. The only reason I think Rhyno will get into 2K17 is if they do what I've mentioned before and they release some sort of ECW Legends pack, because that'd be great. You can have Rhyno, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer. You could have a retro Dudley Boys. All that sort of thing. I think that'd be great. I really like that anyway. Well, that is the end of this episode of Smackdown. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it's been a little bit of a short one. I think that's mainly because the cutscenes we've had to cut out the entrances, so it gets a little bit shorter. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit that like button. It does really help me out. Basically, what it does is it puts the video higher up the search function, so more people can find the video and obviously find the channel. And then hopefully I can grow the channel a bit more as well. I'd love to get to 2,500 subscribers before we get to 2K17, which means I only need 100 more now. So if you could help me out on that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Just share the video and tell your friends. It'd be absolutely great. And of course, like I said, if you are new around here, then be sure to hit that subscribe button for a lot more WWE 2K16 footage. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.